On Osrc News at 7, Governor Akeredolu inaugurates Ondo State Advisory Committee on Social Investment Programs. Nigerian artisans commend Governor Akeredolu's strides, drum support for Tinubu Shettima candidacy ahead of 2023 presidential poll. Federal government denies agreement with Cameroon on dam construction to mitigate flood. And from the foreign scene, Ghanaian traders close shops to protest high cost of living. A very good evening to you and thanks for joining us on the news at 7. I am Jane Aino. Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has inaugurated the Ondo State Advisory Committee on Social Investment Program. At the inauguration of the 7-man committee, Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu thanked the Buhari initiating the laudable project at the national level and replicating same across the states of the Federation. Government House correspondent Timlayin Falade reports that the committee is aimed at ensuring the well-being of residents in the state.
The National Social Investment Program was established in 2016 in ensuring a more equitable distribution of resources to vulnerable populations, including children, youth, and women. In a bid to ensure that distribution is achieved across the nation, the federal government commenced the inauguration of state project advisory committees. At the inauguration of the committee in Ondo State, Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu commended the initiative of the federal government, saying it will ensure adequate care and attention of residents in the state irrespective of their status. Represented by his deputy, Lucky Ayedatiwa, Governor Akeredolu said Ondo State is ready to generate data that will guide the project to achieve its mandate.
The primary mandate of any government, really, apart from security and protection of lives and property of citizens, is also for their total well-being, irrespective of where they live or their status in the society.
He reiterated the commitment of the state government at ensuring the total well-being of the people.
We want to say that Ondo State is ready, and thank God we have a very energetic woman. Never say die. She's never tired to drive this committee, the advisory committee, and I know she's going to drive everybody in this committee. You say you are looking for data, they will get it within 1 week because by the time
the special advisor to President Buhari on social investment, Hajia Mariam Owais, who thanked Ondo State for its project targeted at supporting children and youths, said the federal government aims to complement the work already done in Ondo State by encouraging children with skills to go back to school.
We will be asking for data so that we can actually do the research and be able to assess the trends, analyze what is working and what is not working. As I mentioned earlier to Her Excellency, we're eventually locating the program in the National Bureau of Statistics so that they can also continue to share the knowledge and the information that will support states to keep their citizens, especially those at the bottom of the pyramid, very productive.
Wife of the governor and chairman of Ondo State Advisory Committee on Social Investment Program, Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, said with the support of the federal government, the state would be able to improve on its performance.
We didn't pretend that we understood it, but listening to her, it was quite...
The committee has Ondo State Governor's wife as chairman and special advisor on gender, Mrs. Olamide Falano, as secretary. Timlayin Falade, Osrc News.
As the 2023 general elections draw near, the governor of Ondo State and Southwest coordinator of Tinubu Shettima Presidential Campaign Council, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, has received in audience the leadership of Southwest and North Central Artisans Association of Nigeria. The artisans who gathered at the governor's office in Akure declared their support for the Tinubu Shettima joint ticket. They pledged to work for the victory of the APC presidential candidate at the 2023 presidential poll. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole completes the story.
Seated here are leaders of the southwest and north central zones of the Artisans Association of Nigeria. The people were in Akure to drum support for Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who is the southwest coordinating success for the All Progressives Congress (APC) in the fast approaching presidential election. The President General, United Artisans Group of Ondo State, Mr. Komolafe Daisi, who congratulated Governor Akeredolu on his appointment as Southwest Coordinator of Tinubu Shettima Presidential Campaign Council, commended him for his commitment to the well-being of artisans in the state while assuring him of their support. Mr. Daisi, who spoke through Mr. Shubandi Babatunde, expressed happiness that Ondo State is the first state to officially host the group.
Our coming together is to make sure we work with you as the Director General of the Tinubu Shettima Campaign Group for the Southwest in making sure our candidates, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, become the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria by next year.
In messages of goodwill, the President, Lagos State Council of Tradesmen and Artisans, Alhaji Nuruddin Buhari, and his counterpart from Kwara State, Alhaji Jimo Adishino, commended Governor Akeredolu for providing leadership in the Southwest and the country at large, assuring of their readiness to ensure the victory of APC in the 2023 presidential poll.
We also want you to engage us in all campaigns throughout the length and breadth of the Southwest in Nigeria.
Can deliver Southwest and North Central fún àwọn. Àwa fi ń dá lójú pé à ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́sàn tó wù láti rí pé àpọ́nlé náà bá ọ̀gá wa Akeredolu.
Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu thanked his visitors for their belief in the Nigerian project, describing their support as a sign of good things to come. The governor, represented by Special Advisor on Union Matters and Special Duties, Mr. Dari Aragbaye, said Tinubu Shettima joint ticket is a collective project which every Nigerian must support for a better country.
It's a great job that the governor alone cannot do. We need the support of all and sundry, particularly a group like your own. We need your support, and with the blessing of our Lord, of the Almighty God, I know success is assured. Amen. By the grace of God, we will not regret what we are doing. Amen.
He called for unity of purpose and togetherness among members of the group to achieve a common goal.
We cannot be talking of any total campaign now if there is no peace among us. And I'm happy that you are showing the way that we should all follow. If there's any group that is still staying behind, for one reason or the other, let all of us come together.
At the meeting were leaders of the Artisans Group from Lagos, Oyo, Kwara, Kogi, Ogun, Osun, Ondo, and Ekiti states. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
In continuation of the Orange Health Insurance enrollment for Ondo State workforce, staff of the State Media Group, Osrc, converged of the State Information Technology Agency, SITA, for their exercise. The media practitioners expressed optimism that the scheme will address healthcare challenges. Joy Pius now completes the story. Two chieftains of different parties in Imo State have called for the release of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, for peaceful elections to hold in the southeast zone of Nigeria in 2023. Both Ray Emeaga, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and Chris Lance Osondu Onyemechara, a founding member of the All Progressive Congress, APC, made this known in an interview with newsmen. After legal fireworks for over a year since he was returned to Nigeria An appeal court sitting in Abuja on October 13, 2022 discharged Kanu, who is being prosecuted by the federal government at the Federal High Court in Abuja for 15 charges bordering on treasonable felony, terrorism, amongst others. However, the National Security Council and the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, said the leader of the proscribed group was only discharged and not acquitted. The Federal High Court in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital, has nullified the All Progressive Congress (APC) primary elections for Fika East and Jakusko State constituency for non-compliance with provisions of the Electoral Act and ordered the APC to conduct fresh primaries within 14 days. According to presiding judge Justice Fadima Murtala, the party has been given only 14 days within which to conduct fresh primary elections for the 2 vacant positions. In a related development, the Yobe North APC Central aspirant Abubakar Jinjiri has withdrawn the suit he filed against the Central candidate Bashir Sharif Machina, the Independent National Electoral Commission and the APC over his Central matter. Justice Murtala, in her ruling, held that Jinjiri has the right to file the notice of withdrawal and that the notice of discontinuance was valid. The federal government has said over 3 trillion naira has been allocated for fuel subsidy in 2023 as Nigeria's debt profile hits $102 billion. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, while speaking in Abuja, also said the 2023 budget proposal has a budget deficit of 10.78 trillion naira. Zainab Ahmed said this will be funded through domestic and multilateral borrowings and proceeds from privatization. According to her, of Nigeria's $102 billion debt, 35% is foreign and 65% is domestic, adding that the current public debt is at 23% of the country's gross domestic product. You're watching the news at 7. We'll take a quick break. When we return with 7 more stories, please stay with us. Welcome back from that break. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. And now to the rest of the bulletin. The Ondo State government has directed security agencies to investigate reports of an imminent attack on Ilaje communities by Ijaw youths to avenge the alleged murder of their kinsman. The directive follows reports of women and children living in Ilaje community for fear of being attacked. The government, in a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Akeredolu, Mr. Richard Olatunde, condemned every criminal act as well as disturbance of societal peace and killing of anyone. Government, in a statement, appealed to fleeing residents of the area to return to their places of abode and assure them of safety. While calling on residents to be vigilant and report any suspicious movement, the Ondo State government also urged traditional rulers and religious leaders of the affected areas to rein in their subjects to avoid a breakdown in law and order. Minister of Water Resources Sulaiman Adamu has debunked reports that Nigeria entered into any agreement with Cameroon to build a dam that will mitigate flooding when water from the Lagdo Dam is released. The minister stated this in Abuja at the budget defense with the Senate Committee on Water Resources. Adamu said there is no record of such an agreement, but while the government is in the process of building the Dasen Dam to mitigate flooding from Cameroon's Lagdo Dam, there are engineering concerns. Adamu said Cameroon did not inform Nigeria about the release of water from Lagdo Dam until 24 hours after it was released. Students of University of Benin are expected to return to school on Sunday in line with the institution's amended academic calendar after the suspension of a strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, which lasted for 8 months. A statement by the institution's spokesperson, Dr. Benedicta Ehaniru, explained that the University of Benin's Senate has amended the institution's 2020-2021 academic calendar and approved Sunday, 23rd October 2022 for students to return to halls of residence. Ehaniru said lecturers are expected to continue on 24th October as the second semester was truncated for 8 months, while the semester is to run until 23rd December. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Lilian Salami, solicited the cooperation and support of staff and students to ensure successful academic activities. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, has announced that the federal government has provided 470 billion naira special fund in the 2023 budget for university revitalization and upward adjustments of lecturers' salaries. Ahmed, who said this as a briefing in Abuja, explained that the sum was specially provided in the allocation of education for upward adjustment of salaries for university lecturers and revitalization of universities. The sum of 300 billion naira is for university revitalization and 170 billion naira for upward adjustments of the university lecturers' salaries. According to her, the draft 2023 budget has been prepared on the background of international challenges such as the Russia-Ukraine war and COVID-19 pandemic, having that revenue generation has been a major challenge to national development in the country. President Muhammad Buhari has signed into law Nigeria's startup bill. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, announced this after meeting with the President at the State House. According to Pantami, the startup law passed on July 20, 2022 was a bill initiated by the executive branch and seeks to create an enabling environment for tech-based startups in Nigeria. Pantami said the law holds enormous benefits for the economy and will aid young startups to identify and express their business challenges much easier. The federal government says the decision of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, to cut Nigeria's crude oil production downward by 2 million barrels per day was unanimous. Minister of State Petroleum Resources Timi Silva, in a statement, said the decision was taken by OPEC and its partners at their last meeting at the beginning of the month. He explained that the decision was taken for the exclusive purpose of ensuring the long-term stability of the oil market and to balance supply and demand. Silva further said the decision taken by the OPEC was unanimous, stating that it was taken for the exclusive purpose of ensuring the long-term stability of oil market. However, crude oil theft and pipeline vandals have depleted Nigeria's ability to meet its oil production quota of 1.8 million barrels per day. Officers of the Lagos State Police Command dispersed some protesting physically challenged athletes in the Surulere area of the state. The para-athletes staged a protest by the National Stadium resulting in traffic gridlock along the Funshaw-Williams Avenue. The protesters expressed their displeasure at the alleged exclusion of some para-sports like swimming and tennis from the forthcoming National Sports Festival scheduled to hold from November 28 till December 10, 2022. With placards carrying different descriptions, they allege discriminatory practices against them, adding that para-athletes from other countries were invited to the games at the detriment of indigenous athletes who have trained for months without salaries. On the other hand, the Lagos State Police Command has said normalcy has returned to Alaba International Market, Ojo, following a clash between traders and thugs. Trending videos on social media had earlier shown the popular electronics market in chaos, with many youths wielding sticks and machetes while people ran in different directions. The cause of the clash is yet to be known, but police say its men have returned sanity to the market. The Lagos Police Public Relations Officer Benjamin Udehe confirmed this in a statement on one of his verified social media handles. And on the foreign scene, traders in Ghana's capital, Accra, have closed their stores and businesses in a 3-day protest over soaring cost of living as the West African country battles economic fallout from the Ukraine war. Daily gridlock in Accra's central business district and in the biggest vehicle spare parts district was largely absent, with only street food vendors in front of the shuttered shops. President Naya Akufo-Addo is under pressure over his economic management after reversing his position and entering into talks with the IMF over a $3 billion loan to shore up public finances. Ghana faces a high debt load and inflation at a historic high of 37% in September, while the local cedi currency has plummeted against the US dollar. Hope beacons for sport athletes, enthusiasts, and other stakeholders as the delegation of the Redeemed Christian Church of God at the Ondo State government inspected facilities at the Ondo Township Stadium towards promoting sports development in the state. This latest stride was the confirmation of the Ondo State government's efforts to engage relevant partners towards advancing the sports sector. The renovation process of the Ondo Township Stadium, which will commence before the end of this year, will aid the development of grassroots sports and ensure the stadium meets international standards. Our correspondent, Wahab Bankole, completes the story.
Having modern sporting facilities and edifice will no doubt promote rapid development of athletes while serving as a huge source of revenue for the affected society, determined to return the lost glory of the Ondo Township Stadium towards promoting sports development at all levels. The Ondo State government has facilitated the total renovation of the stadium as the delegation of the Redeemed Christian Church of God was led by its Director of Sports, Mr. Paul Oluwasegun, for on-the-spot assessment of the facility.
What we have here is impressive. All we need to do is to carry out some renovations here and there, and then to bring about some initiative that must be put in place for, number one, development, number two, promotion, and then number three, how we can bring in science and technology into what we have on the ground. This is a potential catchment area for the kids.
The Ondo State Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Bamidele Ologun, who commended Governor Akeredolu for his efforts at advancing the sports sector, said his purposeful leadership encouraged the church to carry out the renovation work.
It is important for us to understand that government can't do it alone, and sport these days is business. So we are saying investors should come around and support us. We looked at it and we approached the Redeemed Christian Church of God. That was in early this year. And today they've sent the Director of Sports of Redeemed Church to assess this place, and he has promised that they will commence with total renovation of this facility before the end of the year.
The General Manager of the State Sport Council, Mr. Henry Babatunde, and other stakeholders said the impacts of having a befitting sporting arena are numerous.
So we have a lot of hidden talents within Ondo town and the community and towns around it. So we are going to use this space as a hub for development of new talent. So it's a thing of joy for me, and I know that for all the artists and coaches, they are also happy.
I thank Mr. Governor Akeredolu for his own concern to reach out to the Redeemed Church of God to come into our rescue. We are very, very grateful for that.
I don't normally believe when somebody told me that Redeem want to come and renovate our stadium. I believe that something better is coming to Ondo right now?
It will be superb for our training. It will really help us. And if they can also build gym for us, it will be very easy for us to train there.
When completed, the narratives of poor playing tough, bad tartan track, lack of modern equipment, and the absence of emergency exits, among others, will become a thing of the past, as the stadium will be renamed after the founder of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Reverend Josiah Akindayomi. From Ondo, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Still on sport, in what seemed impossible in the eyes of spectators, members of the Nigeria Association of the Blind Ondo State chapter engaged in a football match known as blind soccer at the State Sports Complex, Akure, to commemorate the 2022 International White Cane Day. The chairman of the association, Mr. Ojo Akilo, said their sense of the march is to demonstrate their potentials which God has deposited in them to show that they are useful to themselves and society at large. White House's Joseph Ikubomire reports that top government officials, including Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Dr. Bumi Oshadam, and the leadership of the Osrc Media Group watched the match amidst fanfare. The report.
It is the first time members of the Nigeria Association of the Blind Ondo State chapter will engage in a football match to the admiration of many. The match, which featured two teams, Glorious FC and Ondo FC, was part of activities to mark their annual day. These two teams make use of sounds to get the ball with the assistance of officials of the stadium.
And this is happening in Ondo State. The game is on.
Addressing newsmen on the development, the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Dr. Bumi Oshadam, said the government will continually support members of the association through various programs and policies as part of society.
I'm here to see with my son that even in disability, there could be capability and ability. That is what the governor of this state wants to show to the whole world. And these people are part of they are citizens of this state. They also belong.
Also, the Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Dele Ologun, represented by his aide, Mr. Larry Tubuyele, and the chairman in the board of the Agency for Persons Living with Disability, Mrs. Folashade Arishe, called on parents whose children live with disabilities to bring them out for government to assist them in nurturing their potentials rather than hiding them.
At this White Cane Day football team, this is the first time in Ondo State. We want to appreciate our governor. If not the governor that recognized that bring us out, this wouldn't have happened today.
The Osrc Media Group, represented by senior official Mr. Yomi Ogunye, said the three stations will continually disseminate information, education and entertaining programs that will assist members of the association and other affiliated bodies.
Osrc Media Group will continue to ensure that any information that is relevant to the visually impaired usually get to them.
Chairman of the association, Mr. Ojo Akilo, and players from both teams called on individuals and corporate organizations to support their dream to represent the state in future competitions.
We are here to demonstrate our potential, which God has deposited in our lives, for the people to see us that we are useful for the public.
And that makes it a wrap on the news at 7. Thank you for watching. Good evening.